Kaieteur Radio.
Hi there to you, 19 hours 21 in Guyana, right across the Eastern Caribbean. Namaste and welcome to the Monday edition of the Lall Show. It is the Monday, June 27th edition, and we say welcome. You remember we come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and tell it as it is. Just a quick point of note before we hand things over to the man of the moment. 226-745324, 622-2222, and 624-6456. When you call, just get to the point, because time is precious. With that said, sir, namaste, happy Monday, and the floor is yours.
Adam
Hello,
A.
sir.
Harris. Adam A. Harris.
Hi.
Editor-in-Chief for Kaieteur News, 25 years. Is in the studio. No relation to Mrs. Harris.
That's right.
You know, everybody believes that is your daughter or your sister, Adam. Or wife, yes. Lots of people keep asking me. Say, man, Adam, you make Adam go away. And you take your wife. Adam Harris, the man himself. How long you been in journalism, Adam? 50 years?
43 years.
43 years. I'll start your name now and again. You know that, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Joshua, did you say namaste to me?
I did.
All right, namaste. Namaste, Adam.
Namaste, bro.
The peace, the joy and happiness, the love in me, I extend to you by the grace of Almighty.
Love you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I get into tonight's program, Mr. Harris, not Miss Harris, I must let you guys know, yesterday I felt like eating some wedding house food, Adam. So I poop a wedding on the West Bank.
You and me for done.
Yes. And I carry two friends with me. Mm-hmm. When we reach, I show my face, to the feeding area. Because remember, I go hungry, right? I show my face a couple of times, right? And nobody, asked me for one little food. So I go and tell one little lady how them two guys hungry. They come hungry. And while she taking out the food, I said, well, you know what? Seeing that I'm here, I too getting a little hungry. Take some food for you. And while I eating the food, the bridegroom show up and say, Glenn, thanks for coming, man. You're invited for the cannon today. So I actually forced an invitation to myself, Adam.
Love it. Love
Right?
it.
And that's Glenn. I can't help myself. That's who I am. I like to do things like this, I ended up dancing last night at the wedding house. Man, if you see people, was a fantastic wedding, man. Adam, dancing was like for so. If you see but all ladies dancing. So I followed and I keep dancing.
Right.
But when a song came on, right, all the men them they drinking. When a song came, a song came on with it, somebody gonna lose their girl tonight. Man, somebody got touch it for you. Joshua, man, you see, all the men them come on the dance floor and me left alone. They come and take back the wife or the girlfriend. Oh my gosh, Adam. I must tell you, man, the reception was great. You know, the love, the appreciation I received, Adam, you know, from the entire community.
Which one?
The invited audience. I gotta go back tonight. You know, the hugs, the shake hands, the high five, the pongs, man, the photos was throughout the evening, Adam. I felt much appreciated. It was there, Adam, that I realized how many people listening and learning and appreciate what I do on this program. You know, thank you guys, thank you. I want to say thank you. And I want to say to the wonderful bride and groom, as you bring forth your offsprings, I wish that Guyana will, by then, truly become that Dubai that you and your children deserve, given all the wealth we have out there, to have the greatest of life. Best wishes to you both. And Adam Harris, let's get going with tonight's program.
All right.
Good. I want you to listen. I want you to take some notes. So we'll get going. I want to also quickly give you guys an update on my court case with the government and ExxonMobil. I told you guys last week that the government asked for 1 month extension, telling the court that the matter is a complex one and they need more time to seek out expert advice and guidance, Adam Harris. Wow. Days after that, this is on Friday gone, ExxonMobil also joined in, asking the court for extra time too. So that uncle and auntie will push the court case further. In the meantime, every day, ExxonMobil walking away with our taxes. Bernard, namaste.
Namaste.
Mm-hmm. Vice President Jagdeo and the rest of politicians are not making mistakes, uncle and auntie. They are deliberately staying silent, turning a blind eye, and most times telling us half-truths. And, Adam, in most cases, they're hoodwinking the nation with them flimsy language and excuses they give to people. Uncle and auntie, I promised Friday to give anyone $1 million if they can show me one oil contract in the last 50 years that is worse than the one Guyana has. Adam, can you help me? You want $1 million? Today is 3 days gone, and not a soul, not any of the oil companies, not the Vice President Jagdeo, not the opposition leader or Ramjatan, call me to get that $1 million. But let me say this, uncle and auntie, that offer still valid. I hope somebody win it by Wednesday with a contract that says or shows it is worse than the one Guyana has. You want to take up the bet, Adam?
I won't even try.
Okay. A lawyer asked me, Glenn, what you think is the most dangerous aspect of this entire oil deal with Guyana? What bothers you most with this oil contract, Glenn? And I said to him, sir, we have several damning provisions in that contract that no other oil contract on earth has. And the very top of that list is the stabilization clause or provision. I am so happy that not only lawyers is waking up in this country. I am told right across this country, this radio program has become a topic of conversations on the roadside, in the bars, bottom houses, and almost in every conversation people are having with their friends, families, and even strangers. Stabilization clause, uncle. Stabilization provision in that contract, auntie. This is the main part of the contract that Jagdeo, Norton, Ramjatan, and President Ali does hold up and preach sanctity of contract. The contract can't change. That's what sanctity means. It can't change. If you change it, you're breaking the laws of God Almighty. That is what sanctity means. It is sacred. Not true, Adam?
Correct.
Correct. It is an unbreakable vow that our leaders have taken when they marry Guyana to Exxon Mobil. Auntie, when you marry, you just take a vow to be faithful and true to your partner and always do the best for each other. Well, this vow is the total opposite to a marriage. This vow, Guyana's leaders give ExxonMobil the right to interfere, to molest and sodomize every citizen of this country, including your unborn children. That vow, Adam Harris, also allows ExxonMobil to invite friends to join in and do whatever they feel like to the Guyanese people with joy. And the only way Guyana can stop this vulgarity is if ExxonMobil agrees first. You didn't hear what I said, Adam?
I hear you.
The only way Guyana can stop the vulgarity, the raping of this country, is if ExxonMobil agrees first. That's the contract Raphael Trotman under the coalition signed, that bind all of us to a predator like ExxonMobil. This government, Harris, you used to sit in the editorial department with me every day. Yes. Not true?
Correct.
And I used to warn you and the editorial staff about this contract. And you used to fight me now, no?
Yeah.
You remember? But this government, when in opposition, was very angry over the contract terms. They were very loud about what they will do to reverse this insanity. You have heard many times, I play on the radio, President Ali himself, when he said, we got the wrong end of the stick. It has to be reviewed and renegotiated. In case you guys never hear it, I have a tape to play for you. But I think, man, I should play that tape now. Don't play it. Before you play, hold 1 second. Before you play it, let me tell you, Uncle. He has said that how we get a wrong end of the stick and it must be reviewed and renegotiated. All of them said that. Today, when people are asking them about this contract and this oil deal, man, it's a different tune they're singing.
Like you're cussing him.
Man, if they're cussing,
It's like you cussing him.
now you're going to play that first tape with President Ali and let them hear when people ask them about this oil and this oil operation and the oil deal. Listen what he said. Play it.
I need to know what is happening with the oil blocks. Could you please share something with me?
And the oil blocks would be auctioned. We're examining the possibility of a national oil company in the auctioning. So you have an opportunity to put in a bid.
You hear that?
That was at Bartica.
Bartica. He get offended when the lady asked him, tell us something about the oil blocks. He told the woman, let me tell you if you didn't hear him clearly. He told the woman, we got the pieces that we are getting back through relinquishment will go on to auction and you can put in a bid. You see how disrespectful a president can be on a citizen that asks a very simple question. Please tell us a little about our oil blocks. You know? This is the change this man wanted. Two face, two mouth, two tongue. I used to warn Adam Harris every day in the editorial department. He just said, boss, Adam Harris, I'm glad you're here. Play the next tape for me. Let the nation hear what the vice president saying. These are money that Guyana will never see, maybe in a lifetime. 30 billion American dollars.
But it's not our money. It's not our money.
Yes, sir, it's our money.
No, but if they invest, all right.
So these people are making that you said 75% is coming out on a daily basis cost oil. So how it's not our money?
No, but again, you get the 30 billion, and then you will make all this money too.
Oh no, I'm not asking about that, sir. Don't do me that.
That was at the press conference the other day.
That was at the press conference just a couple of days ago. Many occasions they talk. You see, when you ask him, when you put questions to them, that's when I ask him about the $30 billion out there, that our oil, 75% of our oil is coming out every day to go pay back for those loans. He says, now we money is the people money. And then when he done, he tried to say, well, Glenn, you should. And I tell him, said, don't disrespect me. Don't do that to me. You know, this is the kind of reaction you get when you ask very simple, straightforward question to them. You know, it is so sad. As for the opposition leader Norton, he afraid to use the word renegotiation, but he won't change. Uncle and Auntie, I don't have a tape with him. The reporter deleted the tape from her computer. If not, I would have played it for you guys to hear. But he told Guyana, that in a written statement. Yes. As for the other opposition, the AFC boss man, Kemraj Ramjatan, he said, this is a super contract. The best thing ever happened to Guyana. He continuing where Trotman left off. The man even called me a chatterati, Adam. I ain't even know the meaning of chatterati until now. You know? But he didn't call my name. He said he wanted one in the newspaper. You know? We had an interview with Christopher Ram last week. And you got to hear when Christopher Ram asked him, you have that tape. Play that tape for me, man. Play it. You guys listen.
Well, if you wanted to have a better agreement, I think that you'll have to form a political party, go and win an election.
Nonsense.
That was an interview, I think was Sunday gone? Last Sunday or Wednesday with Christopher Ram on WRHM.
And he tell Ram to form a political party.
When, you know, he told, when Ram asked him to talk about the deal we get. I will play the whole tape, but I just give you a little snippets of tonight because based on my program. I'll play the entire thing for you, for the people to hear. Man, there's so many things to talk about. There isn't enough time to do these things. But you know, you just got to play the appropriate piece, right? So people understand. The man showed down at Christopher and tell you, well, if you want a better deal, you go form a political party. This is the kind of disrespect these people have, these clungs for leaders or politicians have for the people of this country. Wow. Father, you got to help me. Or Adam, do you know the meaning of Chaturati? I really don't know the meaning. Man, and you know, Bernard, these are the thing that bothers my soul is that these are the people y'all staying on your finger for, man. Is why else are you going to stay on your finger for, man? Adam Harris tell me, we agreed, 3 of us agreed that we will not vote for any of the political parties the last election. We agreed, you know. Lo and behold, Adam and the other one walking with a finger stain. Adam,
I didn't agree.
had I voted, I think the creator would have upset with me. Guys, I play those tapes so as to remind you as to what the leaders of this country, their positions where they are on renegotiating this contract. Let me give you some words that they're hanging their hat on. The wedding vow that's so sacred it cannot be broken. If not, the world come to an end. Yes, according to these same clungs you hear there just now. These morons, these misfits, these nincompoops. Yes, these failures, Adam Harris, and fraudsters we have for politicians in Guyana. People tell me, man, Glenn, be nice to them, man. When you listen to those things, Adam Harris, you can be nice to them people.
You're raping the old country, you're nice to them.
It says in Article 32 of the oil contract, our wedding vow. You hear me, Adam? Our wedding vow, meaning Guyana and Exxon Mobil wedding vow. And I want to read it. I want to read word for word so you guys hear me. Can you put it up on the screen too? Put it on the screen. Except as may be expressly provided herein, the government shall not amend, modify, terminate, declare invalid, or unenforceable, require renegotiation of, compel replacement, or substitute, or otherwise seek to avoid, alter, or limit this agreement without prior written consent of the contractor. Should I read it back, Adam? Okay. Those are the actual words in the contract that these clungs keep insisting, like their prayers, that bind this country. Although the clause ended by saying specifically, uncle and auntie, this thing cannot be changed, it says, without prior written consent of the contractor. You know what I mean, Adam? Simply put, that wedding vow that bind we unborn children to slavery can be broken. It can be changed, corrected, or fixed overnight if the leaders write them and say, come to the renegotiation table and let's talk over this contract. It is as simple and straightforward as that, Adam. I'm not going to call your name anymore for tonight. I'll go back to Miss Harris. Let me read back Miss Harris. That very crucial and important piece for all of you. It says, except as may be expressly provided herein, the government shall not amend, modify, terminate, declare invalid or unenforceable, require renegotiation of, compel replacement or substitute, or otherwise seek to avoid, alter, or limit this agreement without, let me repeat, without prior written consent of the contractor. Tor, T-O-R, Adam Harris, not T-E-R. You know I'm not too bright in English.
No, you good. You good.
Good, thank you. Maths I am good at, right?
Sorry.
You know that. What those fancy legal words mean, auntie and uncle? ExxonMobil have to agree to changes. It doesn't mean nothing can change. It just means our leaders have to demand the changes. Bring them to the table. Look what the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister did recently, uncle. He called BP, British Petroleum. That's one of the 5 biggest oil companies in the world working in Trinidad, and told the president of that company, told him, put together a team to sit down with the government team. The president of the oil company asked him, sir, Mr. Prime Minister, did we do something wrong? The Prime Minister tell him no. Sir, did we break the laws of Trinidad and Tobago? The PM again said no. But when a contract, the PM tell him, man, when a contract benefits one side and one side only, he said that is not a contract. Adam, 6 weeks, to be precisely 7 weeks later, both teams met, and Trinidad and Tobago was able to walk away happily, where they got what they demanded by way of renegotiation of their contract. The Prime Minister was clear, uncle, in his demand, and had told them, you are looking out for your shareholders, BP, and he has to look out for the people of Trinidad and Tobago who are his shareholders. Isn't that a leader, Miss Harris? Huh? That's a fine leader. That's a proper leader who looks out for his people at all costs. This is all we're asking President Ali, Vice President Jagdeo, and the opposition leader Norton and Ramjatan to do for us, by bringing ExxonMobil to the table and stop telling us this nonsense about the contract can't change. It's set in stone. It's signed in blood. I don't know who blood. This thing can change, uncle. And if they don't want to do it, me and you got to shut this country down. Me and you got to shut this place down so that we can get them to do it. We can force them to do it. Because they are the elected leaders. Yes, them is the people you're staying on your finger for. How long can all of us continue to live under these conditions, man? In which you can't move at all. You're bolt down. You're anchored down, Adam. You're tied down 10 trillion times worse than how people just tie up an iguana. It's like you tie a donkey with a fat chain, iron chain too. No copper chain, to a concrete post. Then chain the donkey front and back foot, leaving his mouth to eat whatever is thrown at him. And his nose is left for he to breathe until the donkey dead. That is where Exxon has every Guyanese at present with that contract Trotman signed, Miss Harris. This is the same contract that the present government, who when in opposition, said they will change. And today they are deaf. Yes, today they are dumb and blind to it. I didn't hear a word from you, Adam Harris. You're sleeping away on me there.
No, man.
Oh,
As a
oh.
matter of fact, I hear Jagdeo tell you that benefits. I listened to the press conference only today too.
Adam, this was one of the questions I wanted to pose to the Vice President on a one-on-one, he promised me. But because the lawyer asked me, I decided to speak on it tonight. It has been lingering on my chest for a very long time now, eating away at my stomach, keeping me awake. I had spoken on it on one of my programs early last year, and a few other people, including Christopher Ram, have spoken about it already. But it has not registered, and like it's not sinking in people's mind. So I decided to do a special program tonight on that clause alone. But when the question was asked by the lawyer, Adam Harris, that's how I realized that I can't wait for Jagdeo one-on-one to discuss it. So guess what I did? I called a few friends. Yes. I called a few friends. Adam Harris was one of them. Just to ask them the same question, Uncle and Auntie. You know, Miss Harris, what do you think is the worst? Me ask the same question. Me ask Adam. Adam, what do you think is the worst part of this oil deal? And even Harris was like, "Bye. We know that royalty is nothing, and the profit is nothing. But what we can do, yeah? Jagdeo them say can't change. And when I hear this thing from the couple of friends I asked, is then I realize people really don't understand the full depth or danger we are in. It's like all over people talking about royalty and profits, when that is the least of the troubles this country has over its head at present. That's the least trouble we have, man. Getting nothing is nothing. That's not the trouble. Adam, is what it's doing to you. You don't got nothing to forget, fine. But it's what it's doing to you. It's how they're chaining you like a donkey. You hear me, man?
I hear you.
Thank you.
I hear you.
Let me be clear to you people. Other than that stabilization clause, Harris, Miss Harris, not Mr. There are many other aspects of this contract that are more destructive to us than that royalty and profit are you getting. Wednesday, I will continue to give you more. But for tonight, let's stick with a stabilization clause. And this Nancy story that the contract can't change. And we got to live with it for quite a while into the future. That's not my words. Those are not my words. Jagdeo words. Yes. That clause tie up Guyana like a donkey for the next 60 years or more once oil still out there. You see how long you tie up for? You tie up for a day, you know? Yes, 3 generations and more if oil is out there. Uncle, it's like a young man marry your niece, your niece, or your daughter, your beautiful daughter. Until she have to stay in that house. Can't go anywhere until death. And whatever he give her to eat, when the day come, or whatever he give her to drink when the night come, that is how she got to live she life. That's the Guyana contract Raphael Trotman signed with ExxonMobil and Jagdeo, Ali, Ramjatan and Norton. Yes. Have your children, every one of us, living with it. Miss Harris, that clause in the ExxonMobil contract is so evil, so wicked, so nasty, so stinking, and bent on robbing a nation, went as far as to say that if Guyana do anything that will affect ExxonMobil pocket, anything extra, then me and you have to foot that bill. Me and you got to pay every cent. Man, who agrees to something like that? Huh? Trotman signed that contract. But he said he was acting on instructions. Man, can somebody tell me, or can Trotman tell us who instruct him to sign such a contract? Which fool or idiot instruct him? If Guyana changes the law, Miss Harris, Mr. Bernard, you're sleeping away. If Guyana changes the law, uncle, that will affect the oil company them in any way, shape or form, my gosh, Guyana Treasury, your tax dollars, your biscuit money and the breadcrumbs you getting have to go to repay whatever they lose out. Let's go a little further, Miss Harris. If Guyana raises taxes, you hear this one, man. If we raise these taxes in this country, the oil companies, them are exempted. If Guyana puts a regulatory body in place for the oil industry, and them change anything that affects the oil company pocket, them just have to send the bill, how much money them lose, and it all comes out of them poor people pension money. Yes, we got to pay it back. Auntie, if Guyana change its own laws, Bernard, if Guyana change its own laws, it cannot affect the oil companies. They're above our parliament. Their contract is bigger than the constitution of Guyana that governs all of us. How you like that? That contract. Is this our country, man? Are we still the owners of the oil in the Stabroek block? Huh? You still own oil?
Not anymore.
I should take a breathe in here, man. Wow. Wow. Let me tell you guys another important area of the stabilization clause that's in the contract. I think that part, that's a mantra. The last part of the marriage vow, Adam, says if the government and ExxonMobil can't reach an agreement as to the demands of this country, then we must go to a third party arbitration. Uncle, it means we must go to court. Not court in Guyana. Not the CCJ. Guess where, Miss Harris?
The World Court.
The White Man Court in England to get justice for we brown and black and purple people. Oh gosh, like I said, we courts, including the CCJ, is not good enough for ExxonMobil. They want a British court. And guess who's paying?
We have to pay.
ExxonMobil has 700 top lawyers of the world. 700. Yes. They got 700 lawyers on the ExxonMobil team. Who you think pay for it? Guyana pocket, if we ever go to court or to arbitration. Man, to pay our legal arbitration fees, we gotta pay if we win or if we lose. Guyana has to pay from we isle. That's in the contract, uncle. Lall is not making this thing up. These are all questions you guys got to ask these people. You guys have an idea what a fee look like, Miss Harris? In my estimation, it will run Guyana more than a full year of its oil profit or with royalties. That's the kind of money we're talking about. What a bind are you finding yourself in? Staining your finger for these clowns who promise you to do all the best things on earth to make sure your children get a good life. All contracts, Mr. Harris, have stabilization clause. It's a standard thing in contracts. It's always good to bind parties to a contract because you don't want anybody to take advantage of each other. That is a protection for both sides. Everybody got it, man. A contract with a stabilization clause that only benefits one side is not a contract, man. It's a crime, Harris.
Yep.
It's a criminal offense in my book. And the criminals should be placed before a criminal court, not no arbitration court. Good night. Where is the protection for Guyana in this contract? When you're joking me in both of my eyes, then throw pepper sauce inside. Then turn around and they hug me, kiss me, and say, use me 50-50 partner. And we got to live like this for life. Harris? This is how these leaders want us to live for the rest of our lives with ExxonMobil. Like slaves and beggars to ExxonMobil. Look, dog, you take this bone and don't bark at me. Mr. Harris, Suriname oil contract has a stabilization clause in which they agree that only the 36% taxes the oil company has to pay to that country remain. You hear that? That's the only thing they agree to. The 36%, 36.5% taxes they set out, that's the only thing them stabilization clause stick to. That would not increase, even if they change the law. Any other changes the government wants to the contract, the oil companies has to abide by. If they change the laws, the oil companies have to follow suit, have to abide with and follow through. If they pass a law, Adam, that says royalty rates to increase, put your pot on fire. The oil company better go down on their knees. If they want more local content, yes, for their own people, the oil company has to bow to that. The only thing that stick for life, let me repeat, in the Suriname oil contract is the taxes. And they agree to 36.5%. Oh boy. What tax we get?
2%.
No, nothing.
Zero.
0%. And we can't change the law to say bring in taxes. That lopsided contract, uncle, that these clowns we have for politicians sign on to, None of you can even ask ExxonMobil to buy a pin to pin up your underwear that is falling off some of you. That's how they tie up this country. In spite of everything I've said there, Adam, Jagdeo is renewing permits and running faster than ExxonMobil to approve more and more oil fields for them to continue to rape and sodomize every citizen in this country. What the opposition saying? Norton, find him out after the horse bolted this table. After Jagdeo approved the Ford project, then he opened his mouth and said we gotta get something from them before he approved the Ford project. But he didn't say it before. I didn't hear nobody ask Ramjatan anything. But these are questions I would like to get. As a matter of fact, let me use this opportunity to invite Comrade Ramjatan on this program publicly. I want him. I want Aubrey Norton, the opposition leader, to come on this program. Please, gentlemen, you're invited on this program to have a debate, to have a one-on-one discussion. Please, please, come on. Somebody call them if your them gets along well and beg them to come on the program. Should I done tonight? Huh? Because all of them know changes can be made to that one-sided contract that cement all of us like a concrete post. All of them know that. Yeah. If only they open their mouth, Exxon can undo everything. Let me be clear, Ms. Harris. Let me be clear to every one of you out there, Uncle and Auntie. ExxonMobil needs us more than any other thing on earth. So don't let nobody, especially these clowns we have here, tell you otherwise. We don't need them. You don't need them. And certainly Lall doesn't need them. Not for what we are getting. So we can tell them to get out. The damages Exxon and others are doing to this country at present, Guyana will have to live at the World Bank and the IMF and every other international, CDB, IDB, Exim Bank, all the financial institutions of this world for loans upon loans to correct and fix the mess they will leave us in. We don't start already. The $100 million them borrowing for the East Bank, Demerara Road, is what the oil companies already damaged with all them thousands of container trucks running on it every second of the day and in the night, fetching stuff for the oil operation going on out there. This is what happened all over Africa. Just take a look, Google it, you will see what's happening there. Is the oil companies have those countries in that state of poverty. Half of that, the African continent, is actually back into, I should not use the word slavery publicly, but it's there. Where all their infrastructure is destroyed, completely destroyed. The roads, the bridges, the city fences, the hospitals with no medicine, no clean drinking water, and so much more. Schools, children at hundreds of millions of people are going, children can't go to school. All because of incompetent and corrupt leaders. Please, Auntie, please, Uncle, I am begging all of you. from every village in this country. When these people that y'all stain y'all fingers for come to your homes, your towns, or your villages, or wherever you butt up to them, ask them about your oil, man. No other question you should ask about except about your oil. And please let them don't tell you anything other than oil. Let them know that you don't want to hear anything other than oil and that oil contract. How are you going to be rich like Dubai? How are we going to get rich? We are the fastest growing economy. How are we going to get rich? Talking about school and dispatch it. No, don't do that to yourself, man. Ask them about the oil contract. Ask them about the oil. And when they get upset, do just what I did there. You heard me. I told the vice president, don't do that to me. Not in a nice way. But I didn't want to be too rude and disrespectful. I wish they can talk to me like that in the open. Then I'll give them the rightful answers. We are the talk of the business world, Mr. Adam Harris. Guyana is on the lips of every world leaders on earth. Because they want a piece of us for themselves. What happened to me and you, man? What happened to we peace, Adam? And our children peace. What happened to that? Huh? What happened to our grandchildren share? Or we don't have mouth? I'm not hearing you, man. Yes. You're hearing. Good. Thank you. The French ambassador. You know, I can't get this thing out my head. The French ambassador for the region. He based in Barbados. Man never come to Guyana to even see what this country look like. And he's the ambassador responsible for this entire region. As soon as we find oil, he jumped on the plane the next day and reached here. Telling us he would love to see Total, his French oil company, become an operator in Guyana. In Guyana oil basin, just like Exxon Mobil. Yes. Guyana is a cash cow. He come for tell we that he company Total. Total is another large oil company out of France. He hoping that Total become an operator like Exxon Mobil. He did not hold a press conference, Mr. Harris, to talk to the Guyanese people. He sat down with that clown critic to spew that disrespectful and disgusting nonsense, behaving like a thief in the night. That's how they behave. You know, he couldn't hold a press conference for come tell a Lall or a Kaieteur news reporter that. Don't want to face you daytime when you can see his eyes as he speaks. You want to run in the dark and telling you his oil company should be an operator. It's the same France that is collecting 500 billion American dollars every year from the African continent in debt payments. Yes, that's how they left the entire African continent. How can these things come out your stomach? Huh? The president of France, Jacques Chirac, says if it wasn't for that 500 billion American dollars every year going to France, they would have already been a third world country. They rob the poor, hungry Africans using their corrupt leaders with visa. And a few $1 million so that their families can live in France happily ever after, while the country is left in ruins. Look right here. When the PPP lose election, did you notice how many of them run out to live in the big world?
Finance Minister.
Huh? The finance minister actually sing the guru. He can't go work elsewhere. Jagdeo had to wait till he come back to take up that position. And he's not a finance minister. Let me repeat this thing. He's not a finance minister. He is the minister responsible for finance in the office of the president. You know why he's not the minister? We don't have a finance minister. We do not have a finance minister, Mr. Adam Harris, in this country. You know why? Because the finance minister can be held accountable. He can go to prison. But when you don't have one, when Ashley Singh make the decision out of the office of president have that power to do whatever he wants to do. This is why, you see, you so smart these people are. They're safeguarding tomorrow that they don't go to prison.
They're smarter, not to get good for Guyana.
Let me end tonight's program by talking about a protest today which went on at Houston, and I attended. We had two protesters beating their drums, and I noticed something. It really touched me. We have been keeping this protest for weeks now, from Houston on the east bank of Demerara, opposite the shore base, to Coffee Square, and now back to Houston. All the time we were silent, walking up and down with our placards. People passing, whether walking or in their vehicles driving, they didn't pay us any attention. But today was a big difference. I went out there with my placard pasted on back and front of me and had a flag. Yes, and I was dancing to the beat of the drum. Yes, that is what attracted people's attention. On both sides of the road we had them dancing. Man, you got to see how people are honking their horns in support. That's how I catch their attention. I am thinking now to bring Shah Rukh Khan and Buju Banton to help us bring attention to this wholesale thievery of Guyana by Exxon Mobil. What do you think, Miss Harris?
Good idea.
Huh?
That's the only way to get guys with the couple.
The Home Affairs Minister said people like them can't go.
Going on 2 years now. 3 days a week I am on this radio program. Yes. Taking the fight to unbind, untie, and unchain we. We hardly hearing the vehicles noticing us, much as pumping their horns. As soon as a drum knock, man, they want to come and dance with us. I hope to see some of you join us tomorrow because the protest continues. Right at East Bank, at Houston, at the shore base where all the Exxon Mobil operation going on. I will let you guys know on the next program who I'll be bringing. Whether I'll bring Shah Rukh Khan first or Buju Banton first. For now, I'll take some phone calls and Adam will join me. I got to go back. I got to go back to the Kangan that I was invited. I was invited. I'm not going to pope it. Adam,
My friend.
if what I've said there about that stabilization clause, which sits in our contract, you still don't understand, let me put it another way. That Exxon contract has put every Guyanese in a column box. You know when you build your house? Yes. The columns where you will box wrong, Yes, they put every Guyanese in one and cement all of us up to our chin. Look at me here, I'm a chin. Leaving our mouths to eat whatever they throw at us. Our nose to breathe. Eyes to see. Ears to hear. Death coming until we die. That's the stabilization provision. And Jagdeo will approve the 5th project. Another one by year-end. Any bets? Because you people will sit down and sleep in your house. And they will continue the same trend they are. The Supreme Court of the United States ruled that women in 10 states can no longer have abortions. Is that so?
Yeah, Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, they said, what exactly is that?
Roe versus Wade.
Yes.
overturned,
Women now cannot have abortion.
And they locked the
There is massive protests going on.
right.
Massive protests going on for days now since that ruling. I think Joe Biden wants to get involved all across the country just for abortion issue. Huh? Man, if they get a contract that cement them up to the chin, what do you think would happen to America, man? Or if ExxonMobil give America the contract what Guyana, they give Guyana, what do you think would happen in America? The whole place would have been in ruins. Yeah, man. Here, look what they're doing. And you people still sleeping. Mr. Jagdeo had a protest today in front of the president calling for renegotiation of the contract. Anybody joining him there? We need more protests right across this country in Essequibo, Berbice, Demerara, Linden, Bartica, Legwan, Wakenham, you name it. We need more protests all over to bring these people to their senses. I would just want to end with this beautiful story a friend sent to me. Allow me to share it. Yes, share it with most of these thieves we have for politicians. It's really them, not you, uncle. A man dead and saw God coming closer to him with a suitcase in his hand. God said, "All right, son, it's time to go." The man was surprised, says, "No? So soon? I had a lot of plans." God replied, "I am sorry, but it's time to go." What do you mean? What do you have in that suitcase? The man asked. God answered, "Your belongings." My belongings? You mean my things? My clothes? My money? God told him, those things were not yours. They belong to the earth. Is it my memories? The man asked. God responded, those things never belong to you. They belong to time. Is it my talents? The man asked. God said, those were never yours. They belong to the circumstances. Is it my friends and family? God said, I am sorry. They were never yours. They belong to the path. Is it my wife and 2 sons? God said, they were never yours. They belong to your heart. Is it my body? God said, that was never yours. It belonged to the dust. Is it my soul? God said, no, that is mine. Full of fear, the man took the suitcase from God, opened the suitcase, only to find it empty. That was a beautiful story for our politicians. When you leave this earth, you're leaving with nothing. You're leaving with an empty suitcase. God bless you guys. The Kangan people waiting on me. Not the Pope. I get the invitation. Good night. Joshua, I'm going to take the calls. Adam Harris, what you have to say, the floor is yours. Take it over.
You can call us this evening on 226-745-324, 622-2222, or 624-6456. Those are for WhatsApp.
So Adam, you get the answer there. I call Adam. I don't know how I end up calling you Adam, but I said, let me ask Adam Harris. You know, what bothers him? What bothers him? Come to the podium, Harris. Good evening, sir, or madam. You're live. Good night. Let's get going. No, let's get going. Let's get going. Let's get going, sir. Adam, guys, we gotta get going with your comments, or if you have a question, let's.
Well, don't call them leaders.
He has me already, and I'm calling them politicians. But now and again, the tongue slip. Leaders come in. All right, let's get going with your comments or your questions, ma'am, sir, and we take it from there. Yes, Adam. So, having told you just now about the stabilization clause, what are your thoughts? You never expected is that way we are binded, right?
That's true. And I was also looking at the possibility that this contract should have a lifespan, and I was trying to do some research to find out when it ends. The 2015 contract was supposed to come to an end. Now, the 1999 contract, was supposed to end in 2018. And I have to research to see when this one comes to an end. I don't think it's indefinite. But they're not.
It's indefinite. 56 years. Let's get going. Let me hear something from you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, being familiar with the contract and the stabilization clause, when you look at it from the court case, the tax court case that you're currently progressing through the courts, when you win, what does that mean for the stabilization clause? Because if the court grants a judgment in your favor saying that this provision is unconstitutional and has to be struck out, that would influence and impact that stabilization clause. In my mind, it would affect Exxon, meaning that they would then have to pay the taxes that they're supposed to pay, and that would activate the stabilization clause. My interpretation. What do you think?
So you're saying that they can deduct it through the oil.
I think the stabilization clause almost guarantees that.
Even if they have to pay for that.
Because
I like the phrase how you phrase your question, how you put it when you say when I win.
Of course.
I have to win.
Exactly.
Right?
According to the laws,
And,
we've already won.
This afternoon I was having a little chat with one of my reporter, and I told him, I said, check and see what else is being recovered other than the 2% royalty. Right? Check what's supposed to, what they are claiming is not recoverable within the contract.
Yeah.
Double check. But you see, Ms. Harris, it's difficult for us to see what they're doing to the nation because we are not getting the data.
Exactly.
You know, the detailed information as to what is taking out for what. And I think we're carrying a story tomorrow in the newspaper in which a gentleman is calling on the government to release all the financials, no, production data, and all the expenses, so that we can look at what we are paying for
Yeah.
and what they are taking out.
Yeah. The next thing is, you see, with that same point, with looking at what the contract states is directly permitted to be recovered, if there is a list of, say, 10 things that the contract says are permitted to be recovered by Exxon, and if this same tax isn't one of them, then if it's not prohibited, there is a legal notion. If it's not prohibited, specifically prohibited, then it's permitted. So if they haven't explicitly written that in the contract to say that this is something that cannot be recovered, the legal principle is that it can be recovered, because they haven't specifically and explicitly listed it as one of those 10 things that cannot be recovered.
No, if you look at it, we have it. We have the copy there. If you look at it, the line item in their financials, they put it blank. Taxes is blank. So it means that they didn't take out any money for that.
Yeah,
Because Guyana is paying the taxes,
yeah.
right? So, and give them a receipt too. How you like that?
Yeah,
Guyana is paying for something that they get nothing for, not a blind cent, and you're giving the man the receipt to take
to say that you have.
that he paid.
That's them operating in that kind of gray area.
So they're robbing both countries.
Yeah.
It's not one country you're robbing, it's two countries you're robbing. Good evening, you're live on the air.
Yes, good night, Mr. Lall.
Thank you.
Good
very
night.
much.
Give me a chance, let me just express myself. You know, it is thing born in the inside. I am a NIS tax, right? I bet on, they call it, pension. Mr. Lall, the little money where I get in, it can't do for me. It can't do for me for 2 weeks now, for 2 weeks. Everything gone up.
Yep.
Every shit gone up. Mr. Lall, I can't take this thing no more. You understand what this man, then this man saying that he got a bailout in IS. If you know the money coming out of his pocket, I want to know the money coming out of Jagdeo pocket, man. Come on, it's we taxpayers money, and you could tell me what now is coming out, it's coming out to you pocket, but I want to know what big language you're telling people. We can't take this over, Mr. Lall. Come on, man, this is over there in, you understand? They try and do something, man. People suffering in this country, they get rid of the bloody country. You understand? It's either we get rid of them or something, let it get out of there, man.
Yep.
Right? Good night.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Good night. I hear you. I hear you. I feel the same way too.
Yep.
I live with all these things on my soul, day in, day out. And it's not little. It's not easy to put up with. A matter of fact, let me repeat. The doctor tell me that I am too stressed. I take on these things too much. That I ended up in the hospital with a slight stroke in December. The man said, I gotta take it easy. And I still come out back. And by the grace of God Almighty, I am here. I'm fighting this fight. He's telling me don't do the program, but I still, you know, I prefer to drop down and die than to stay home and keep all this information in my bosom or die with it. I just can't. I want to let it out. That tomorrow, if I close my eyes, I played it. I played my role and I did it my way, with His blessings. You really think I want to take the chance of getting a relapse of stroke? No. But I can't handle it. Just how you feel, my brother. This is how I feel every day. You think I want to wake up and go in a protest line in the hot sun? No. You think I want to come to my office in an air-conditioned room all day? No. I should have been home, relaxing in my hammock, in my bed, watching television, or be on some plane, flying around this world, enjoying the beauty of this universe that God Almighty blessed me with. Not to come sit down here, wake up every day, go home, excuse me, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, every day, fighting for this country. I've been doing this thing for the last 27 years. Every day. Adam Harris is here. He's been with me 25 years. 2 days alone we deserve off. Good Friday when we don't print and Christmas Day. And Adam Harris is still coming to my house. Whole day Good Friday and a whole day Christmas Day. And we work every day of our lives. Every single day. Adam does get some Sunday. Glenn Lall gets no Sunday. Glenn Lall is the only individual that has worked every single day of the years, with the exception of 2 days. And Adam still is coming to work at my house.
That's correct.
And he's eating the food.
That's correct too.
He don't want to cook Good Friday, and he don't want to cook Christmas Day. So he's come and he's bring a pot to carry home too. I don't tell you nothing, because I know he alone live.
Glenn, you know I don't walk away with food, but what the fella...
Adam just bring a pot bigger than a drum. I'm just kidding,
No, but the fella made a good point. You know, one of the things he talked about was the NIS. And that is a sore point. They should have had an actuarial review. And that review was never done. You asked Vice President Jagdeo about it, and he came up with the idea that the NIS is bankrupt. Now they got an act.
Do you know who bankrupt NIS?
Of course we know.
Hmm?
Yeah, the money they spent and they didn't get returns. The Borbies River Bridge, you had Clico investment and all of that.
Jagdeo run NIS bankrupt.
But NIS should not...
Sir, Barra Jagdeo is the one who run NIS bankrupt. I wanted to talk about that thing.
Yeah, but NIS should not be bankrupt because the act, what they call the COFA Act, Cooperative Financial Institution Act, demands that the government put money into that institution to keep it going, regardless of what happened.
And
so
not.
the NIS can't be bankrupt.
But the money that he poured into the Borbies Bridge, in which he said the second press conference, how is the biggest investment and is the most profitable investment.
Show me the
so
books.
many things you want
Show
to
me the
talk
books.
about, Adam.
Show me the books.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. He invested in Clico, Trinidad.
Well, that
and lose
money,
all the money.
yeah, and the last government give NIS some money. I forget how much $1 million a year to cover all of that. That there was a big adding over this. The previous general manager was still there, and she collected it. Can't even remember she name old age catching up with me. Anyhow, next call.
Yes, Ms. Harris, you had a question there.
Yeah, another one. Back to the stability clause, because I'm fascinated by this. So it says the stability clause is on the screen right now for the people watching online. And Article 32.2 includes taxes, the same issue of taxes. So after the signing of the agreement, right, the clause bars the government from imposing any new taxes whatsoever, any new royalty, duties, fees, charges, VAT, or other imposts on the company. So now when you win this case, the tax case, do you think that would be a new tax? They would see that as a new tax that would be imposed upon them?
Well,
because they're not paying any tax.
it is well if the contract supersedes our constitution,
Yeah, that's what it says here.
right? If it supersedes our constitution, it's bigger than Guyana. So unless we get a change,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, maybe I can tell you that, give you that answer on Wednesday. But I am pretty much certain that no government can bind a country, right, that supersedes
The Constitution. Yes.
the Constitution.
They shouldn't be able to enter any agreements that supersede the
And
Constitution.
no government should pass to do anything to bind future parliament.
Exactly.
Right? I am told that there are cases that went through arbitration in the international tribunal, but I tried this afternoon, but we tried a little late. We couldn't get it.
Yeah.
But I think there is a way out for all of us.
Well,
We're through the same thing, and I'd like you to help me look for it.
definitely.
And let's we can answer that question on Wednesday.
Good.
But let me simplify that to the people. The question you asked, Uncle and Auntie, Miss Harris is saying that when I win the tax case, yes, Exxon will pay the taxes, but would they take it back, give you on the left hand and take it back on the right hand? Because of the sanctity of the contract and the stabilization clause. Well, that's the answer I'm going to tell you guys on Wednesday. We got to do some research on that.
Yeah. What I think from my experience is that when you win, right, the court is going to have to pass judgment in your favor. Now, in order for that judgment to pass, it would have to breach this agreement. That judgment will breach this agreement.
Yes.
So what I think is going to happen is Exxon will take the government to court for breach of contract. Then.
Yes.
And instead of taking them to court, they'll try and take them to arbitration.
Arbitration, correct.
And that'll be another couple of years where they're going to drag this thing out through arbitration.
Exactly. In
And
the meantime, they're gone with
they're gone with the tax
three-quarter
system.
Guyana oil.
Exactly.
And the billions of US dollars that Guyana will be losing, you will not even get it back in billions of Guyana dollars.
Exactly.
Because these guys don't even want to pay. You know, Adam Harris, did you remember? The EPA had fined the EPA. EPA.
Yeah.
2 or 3,000 US dollars.
Clearing.
2 or 3,000 US dollars. This is about 3 years ago. And ExxonMobil refused to pay.
I remember it, yeah.
Them, they said, let's go to court. Could you believe this thing?
Yeah.
$2,000 and $3,000 they don't want to pay
So you imagine
as a
hundreds
fine.
of millions.
Imagine if they're going to pay. Man, right in Nigeria.
Yes.
Right in Nigeria, Shell Oil Company, $12 million. The farmers, them, carried them to court, and they went to the appeal court. They were ordered by the appeal court of the Netherlands to pay the 12 farmers,
Yes.
and they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
The court had to give a mandatory order for them to pay.
Yes.
That's how they paid.
There's a problem. That's what.
These are the devils you're dealing with of the
Exactly.
world.
International gangsters.
Yes.
And this is the thing. They have so much power because of the money. They're able to corrupt these countries' legal systems, as they will attempt to do right here in Guyana. No doubt there's going to be some skullduggery that's going to go on in the same tax case. And it's really interesting because recently there was an article released with about 70 to 100 countries and corporations on a list. And the article was comparing the GDP from all of these countries as compared to the corporations. Some of these corporations, GDP, as in their value, what they're worth, is bigger than some of the most financially stable, secure economies in the world. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a corporation that has more money than most governments.
Well, one article I read a few months back says Exxon is the money ExxonMobil has, how wealthy they are. They equate it to 82 countries' GDP.
Exactly, yeah.
It's bigger than England.
Yeah.
82 countries' GDP.
I
That's the kind of
perused the
money
list.
these people have. Yes, to dance with.
Yes. So it's like
And,
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
No, but
Because of money.
Miss Harris, it's better. I always believe it's better to fight.
Exactly, me
It's
too.
better to fight and lose
Than to don't fight.
than not to even raise a foot or a hand to fight.
Exactly.
Why keep on approving
Precisely.
contracts if you stop approving any more contracts? If you can't get a better deal, don't approve any more contracts.
Exactly. The thing is so simple, Adam.
It's so simple, exactly.
But he said he can't do that, that he's gonna...
No!
Where is the state candidate?
and he said that last week.
Adam,
He can
calm
say-
down, Adam. It is total nonsense.
We know.
That is a way to get Exxon to come to the table. What you tell them, you're not going to approve more contracts unless you come to the table. You see how quick they get to the table.
Exxon don't want another
Adam,
contract.
Adam, he said, he didn't say, you got to be careful with Jagdeo words, you know. That man is extremely smart and intelligent, you know. He plays with people's mind with words. The man said it will slow down
Yes.
the pace for ExxonMobil.
That
He said so.
expansion, right.
And he doesn't want that.
Right.
The man did not say he cannot
Yeah.
stop it. He can stop it. Man will fly, a fly or a crap, who knew that not a human being can stop the next project in its track. But the man said, well, you can slow down the project and we need money.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
money we need?
You won't get
What money are we getting?
Exactly. What money
That's
are
what
we
I want
getting?
to ask this moron.
Yeah.
What
What
money
money?
are we getting?
That money cannot even pay for the destruction they do to our infrastructure, much less for the environmental damage we experience here.
Yes.
The money we are getting cannot even buy pin to pin up people's clothes that is falling off them in this country right now.
But Glenn, you call it 2%, it's not even 2%. Right? We are not getting any 2%. And I challenge that clown, what's his name?
All right.
No. I want him, he came on the show the other night that,
Ashton Singh?
no, not Ashley Singh, the one that called him, man.
No, don't do that.
Right?
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
any one of them. Let them get the figures and show that we're getting 2%. We are getting barely over 1% we get in royalty. Based on the facts, based on what they have shown, what the finance minister has said, based on what we are getting just over 1%.
Well, I have asked one of my guys to get the production report, and that production report will tell us precisely what you're saying. I kind of believe what you're saying, that we are not getting full 2%, but we must see the production report. From that we can calculate, right?
But that is why they don't want the minister not to release in the monthly production figures.
No, we have to get it. We have to get it. That's a placard. That will be a placard I'll paste on my vehicle to drive everywhere I drive.
That it could change if we all get together, stand up against this system and whatever's going on. It could change. We could change it. Together we could change it.
I hear you, sir.
Stand up, brothers and sisters. Together we could change it.
We have someone on the line.
Take the calls and let's...
Good evening, welcome.
Hello?
Hi, good night. You're live.
I welcome Adam. And this fight have to continue. I just be on the protest every day. And we must get a change, or else no protest and stopping, no tax, no oil. This is me program takes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You welcome Adam, but you didn't ask if Adam will join us tomorrow. Adam, the general would like to know if you're Yeah, but I am asking if you're joining us tomorrow.
What time is it?
10 to 12.
I can't see. I'll see about 11.
10 to 12. 11 o'clock is fine. You want to come for 10 minutes is fine.
Just come.
You don't have to come to stay the whole 2 hours. Come and lend your support. Show that you're really fighting for your grandson. You know, you want a better life for your grandson.
Yep.
I know your whole family live in America and wouldn't come back here.
That ain't true. I got sisters here.
But you got time. You got a long time more to live, and you would need to get. You would need a proper pension.
Proper pension.
Because Glenal didn't give you a pension until now.
No, Glenal, I know that.
Glenal will not give you no pension.
I ain't worried about that.
All right. Any other phone call here, guys?
226-7453.
Take the last call and
Call
let me
and welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to Mr. Glenn Lall.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, in the scripture he say, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, How can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. Glenn, you are a John the Baptist of Guyana. The politicians in this country for 50 years, they're supposed to be thrown out and trampled like salt that has lost its saltiness. To my African brothers, we are fortunate to have Guyana. To my Indian brothers, we are fortunate to have Guyana. Look at Africa, look at Sri Lanka, look at Pakistan, look at Bangladesh. We were almost traded on the other side of the world to come here. Our foreparents built this country. And why we are being treated just like this again? Why are the African leaders and the Indian leaders treating Indians and Africans and Amerindians the same way? We got to stand up and fight. Glenn, you're a John the Baptist of this country. Stay and fight. I can tell you something. What the
Hello? Thank you.
You there?
Yes, go ahead.
This is written in the by American President Roosevelt. He said, this is
Paul, are you there?
not an alien power over us. The ultimate I'm not a president, I'm a congressman. I'm government.
Hold, please.
We do apologize for that, dear call, if you're listening to us, but the signal is very bad. But we thank you for your contribution tonight.
All right, let me call you back. The man said, by the time you call. Yeah, no. He doesn't have credit. The man tell me call him back. That's how poor this country is. Can you believe this thing? The man said, by the time I just asked him to hold. Right? And he said his credit will finish.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir. Sorry about that. I was asking you to hold because another caller was engaging the phone.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'd like to say is this. Guyana, right now, we have to demand 2 oil blocks for Barbies, 2 oil blocks for Demerara, and 2 oil blocks for Essequibo. Right? That's we the people. If we don't do that, everything will done and we won't get nothing. From them oil blocks there, we could get $1 million to every home.
Every month.
Every quarter.
Every month.
Every quarter. Let's say every 3 months. We can only use 1 though. If they give you 2, they give you 6, right? We will use 1 for Barbies, 1 for Demerara, 1 for Essequibo. This generation, the other 3 were left for the next generation.
What happened to Linden?
Everybody, we are going to give Linden 2, give them 2.
No, Demerara, Linden and Demerara.
All right, I hear you.
Their people take all them back, so they're going to give it away. Let it give Guyana to us. That's why we want Ali to make a presidential decree that 6 of the blocks go, or 8 of the blocks, 2 for drilling. Right? Everybody, give we first. You love our we care, we don't. Give we the help. Give we the one.
Thank you. You joining us tomorrow?
I am 73 years old.
Oh, okay. All right. Take your time.
They got one.
I feel that is we could fight with them in court and war. We love your own thing.
Somebody
we
call
give you
him.
one eyes up.
Thank you.
With the different come. You understand me, brother?
I hear you. I hear you.
If we make a thing, they're going to give away all them blocks.
I hear you. Thank you.
Somebody called.
Let me make the president make a presidential decree and give Guyana some blocks.
I hear you loud and clear. Have a good night.
Yeah, that brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you, guys.
Thank you. Love you too. A gentleman was calling me earlier and he could have. So let me take it.
When we say that you have to tell all the oil blocks belongs to Guyana, all we need is a fair share. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't want to get into that, you know. I don't want to get too much into
Pay the
that.
taxes.
That's the man's view. Yes, good evening, sir. Sorry about that. I was on another call. Go ahead.
Hi, Glenn. Good night. And good night, everyone.
Good night.
early in the program, you made mention about the contract, and there's a specific clause in the contract that basically says that ExxonMobil has the right to supersede our parliament.
Yes.
Is that so?
Yes.
And that our government can't put any regulatory body in place, and if that body goes into place and make any decision, that decision cannot affect Exxon negatively.
No, not only the regulatory body to regulate the oil. If it's bigger than that. If we change the laws of Guyana and it affects ExxonMobil financially in any way, shape, or form, Guyana has to pay them.
Well then,
don't worry about regulatory body. Is just a little jokey set of people. But even if you put that too, and they see a loophole that they can plug, and it affects Exxon pocket, Guyana has to, they can deduct it, and Guyana pay from our oil. In short, they can never lose a single cent with that contract. That is how we are binded.
Yep.
Like I said, we are 10 trillion times worse than how you tie up an iguana.
no, these are companies that are taking loans to come and invest in our country based on what was found in our country.
No, hold. I don't like when you guys say these are companies that take loans to come bring here. No, sir. These companies come here with nothing. They find oil, pledge our oil block to the bank, took the loan in which Guyana is paying. All the interest our oil is paying. So it's not even their loans, it's our loans. That's the question I asked Jagdeo. That's the question the international oil expert said, that each citizen of this country at present owes ExxonMobil and the oil people out there $9 million each at present because of the loans sitting out there. And Jagdeo making a laugh story at the press conference, asking the press conference, you owe any 9 million? I don't know own any 9 million. Kwame, you owe 9 million? I don't own it. You know, this is the kind of a Jim Cock McRam good story. This ex-president and vice president trying to pass off as a joke to this country. So careful when you speak. Ramjatan is another one. I didn't speak back to Ramjatan 2 years into the coalition government when I put down that phone on him. When he said, but Glenn, the people invest their money, they don't have to make money. I was like, guy, are you for serious? You people are for serious? A man come take my transport from my house, pledge it to the bank, get money, and you tell me about that is he investment? What kind of nonsense this is, my friend? This is unthinkable. So, thank you, and I'll hold for you, but I just want you to be clear. ExxonMobil didn't bring no money from their pocket here. All right?
Yes, they use Guyana as basically the collateral, and they pledged that to the bank, and they took the money, and now we have to pay it back. So it's our loan, it's our headache.
Thank you.
Plus the interest.
We have our leaders that signed a contract, an agreement that says that we don't even have the right as a sovereign nation to change our laws to benefit us.
That's precisely what I'm saying here. The stabilization clause
So it says in the
bind
contract,
us.
yep.
Like I said, concrete. We are sitting in the strongest concrete with stone. And the hardest cement you could think about, we can't come out up to the chin. That's where every single citizen of this country, everyone that has that Guyanese nationality behind their name, that's where we are with that oil contract, with that stabilization clause in that oil contract. And Jagdeo saying, well, we are not going to touch that contract, but we are looking to do a new model PSA for other oil blocks. That's what this man dancing around telling this country.
Glad, but based on your court case, it doesn't wouldn't it,
There is no contract. That is not a contract. There's no contract that guarantees someone that level of power over the other party. There's no contract. A contract is supposed to be a mutually beneficial document, whereby Exxon benefits, Guyana benefits. But based on this understanding of this contract or this agreement, Guyana gets nothing, takes all the risk, and basically don't even have the authority or the we can't even change the laws.
Guyana, how I see it, let me put it simple, man. How I see it, Guyana is a slave to ExxonMobil at present.
Basically, that's what has happened.
Yes.
It's basically an arrangement that puts
We
Guyana
are
and
like-
future generations back into slavery, and we're now owned by ExxonMobil.
Exactly.
And their partners.
And I am so happy that I can bring this to the table, to the forefront, that you people can understand where we are. You know, I used to use a phrase, we are like an abused wife running to the police station for help, and when you meet there, they abusing the woman too. Well, no. This is worse. This is slavery all over again.
As a country that was built on the backs of slaves and indentureship, we have an acute understanding of what that is. So I think Guyanese people, we really need to rally around and have this thing changed. And if not, I read the other day that Melinda Janke was saying, well, maybe just shut down the entire industry and force a renegotiation. Something has to happen, because this is no contract. This is no contract whatsoever.
I want a few lawyers. I want 2-3 lawyers to help me take this one to court. But not getting lawyers. We're not getting lawyers. Even if I gotta go in my pocket to help to fight this matter, I'll go. But
this is ridiculous.
you can't even find lawyers, my friend.
I hope that Guyanese people try and understand it a little bit, and maybe we have to start crowdfunding these court cases. You know, maybe we have to do that. We have to set up some sort of thing whereby people can contribute. People may not be able to come out physically, but at least they can contribute and put these matters in court, because
Well, we're working on a website so that people can give
Abuse?
donations who want to contribute. So we're building a website.
Thank
Stay
you, my
tuned.
friend.
Okay, Glenn.
Thank
have
you.
a good night.
You join us, right?
Yes,
They got one point I want to. A fella talk about giving blocks to Guyanese. This government was never keen on giving anything to Guyanese. You remember when they sell the shares to GT&T?
Giving blocks.
He said give 2 blocks to Burmese.
Damn.
When we wanted, the GT&T workers said we will buy the 5%.
Yes, Jagdeo never gave us
Never
shares.
sold them.
Yes.
Never.
That's a very important aspect.
Because the
You see,
government...
and Adam, I'm glad that you at least you become fruitful tonight. And I'm happy for that.
the Guyanese people
You know,
should
I'm
be
glad
given
that-
first priority.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you raised that point there. Uncle and Auntie, when Jagdeo wanted to sell out our 20% share in GT&T, the workers of the company and the Guyanese populace says, okay, we will take it. We will give you the money. You know he did not. He preferred to sell them to an unknown Chinese company. That's what he did. And to now, Guyana and to now that company did not pay Guyana $5 million US. That's a full 7%. That's a full 7% increase for the public servants right across the board. And to now we didn't get that. You see, they can't find money to increase the people's salary, but they just give away to a foreigner, a Chinese. A matter of fact, we didn't even know who are the real owners that buy it. And to this day.
Yep, definitely.
Guyanese should have been given first preference to buy those shares.
Yes.
That's it. We gotta go. The signal me is after 9. Guys, with that 20% share that has gone from our hands, a matter of fact, Guyana was making 2.5 million American dollars. You hear me? Every year on that investment. And Jagdeo take the thing, sell them out, take 25 million and invest them in the Marriott, in which the Marriott couldn't even pay the light bill at the time. Have a great evening. That's your business guru you have running this country.